All right, these are always fun for me. I'm going to break down my son, EJ Warner, today. And again, I think he fits in the mold of a lot of these guys that are really good college quarterbacks. He's one of two quarterbacks in this draft that threw for over 10,000 yards in the FBS. So he's had a lot of great production. Smaller school, so that's going to be a question. He's a smaller guy, 6 foot, 215-ish. And so, how does that stack up with some of these other guys? So it's fascinating. It's going to be fascinating to watch all of these guys because, again, I think all of them have some really good traits. All of them have some things that they have to prove. None of them are guys that just jump off the page in every regard, maybe outside the top two guys. And I know there's even questions about the top two guys. So it's a fascinating class from that standpoint. But let's go ahead and dive into it here. And obviously, I've watched EJ play a lot. So I know who he is and what he's made of. Most people probably haven't seen him, so don't understand certain things. But you guys know I'm all about processing first and understanding that. So right here, he's going to have a little hook. He's actually going to be in a hot situation right here. So we can come out and try to throw into the hot situation and hit his tight end. But he's getting a popper that comes here, having the wherewithal, even in a pressure situation, to know, okay, I don't have that. They're matching over to it. You see the eyes and the feet, boom, back to his number two on the backside. Nice little quick in, tremendously accurate, top 10 in a lot of accuracy categories this year with this class coming out. Actually, with this class, he's probably top 5, but overall, in the NCAA, top 10 in a lot of things, and you're going to see a lot of accurate throws from EJ. The challenge with EJ is they only threw the ball. He only had 23 throws all year long that were 20 yards or more in the air. It wasn't a part of their offense. They weren't built to be able to separate and get big plays. They wanted to be a run-first type team, and so that's going to be the challenge for EJ. When he gets his shot at the next level, is showing people that he can make those second level throws consistently. But these are the things that he does well. His ability to recognize coverage. So processing is in two parts. It can be after the snap, okay, like we saw on the first play. Hey, I'm looking in my hot, don't have it, they take it away, process to the next guy in a quick fashion and get the ball out. It can also be recognizing things pre-snap and at the snap that says, okay, we're going to run a switch seam right here with the ability to stop on the outside. Boom, we snap the ball. They're going to try to run this corner up over the top. They have nobody really coming down to the flat. And so the ability to see that and quickly get the ball out as soon as his guy turns around. And so these aren't necessarily 20-yard throws, but they become 20-yard plays because of the timing to get the ball out as his guys turn it around. Boom, turns it around, able to pick up another 5 or 6 more yards after the catch because the ball is out off of the pre-snap, post-snap recognition. Okay, pressure situation here. Going to check. Okay, so you want to see all the different kinds of throws. Okay, the go route to the outside. Again, as I mentioned, not a lot of great speed guys on this Fresno State team. So finding ways to get big plays without being able to create that separation or get big throws down the field. Nice job here. Back shoulder throw. Good touch. Allows his receiver to be able to adjust to it. Nice adjustment to make the catch and help your quarterback. But a nice job here against the pressure. Stand in, find a way to make a play. All right, so when I'm breaking these things down, if you haven't watched all of them, I break down and try to pick a game that shows kind of who the quarterbacks are across the board. Okay, so it's not just perfect games. You're not going to just see highlights on my breakdowns. You're going to see a lot of good stuff from these guys because I think a lot of them do a lot of good things on the field. But you're also going to see some things that they have to work on or things that went against them. Okay, so in this game, EJ threw for like 350 yards, threw for 3 touchdowns, but also had 3 interceptions in this game. And so I always like to see and show and break those things down as well. So we got another pressure situation right here, a blitz zero situation. okay? And so the first thing that I always look at is, okay, does the scheme give them a quick throw, an option to get the ball out of their hands? They're not here, okay? So they're running basically all goes, kind of a double post with a shallow right here. We got press on the shallow on the backside. These guys are popping out here, so we don't really have a quick throw to the shallow. So the quarterback's left in a position of going, okay, I have to try to make a throw. It's an all-out blitz. It's a critical situation. I got to try to make a play. What do I do? Okay? So I like this, okay? This is something that we call the retreat. So I've obviously been teaching EJ for a long time. So when you get blitz zero and you know there's a free hitter, the goal is to try to retreat, and get back here quickly and get depth away from that free hitter in hopes of trying to buy enough time to see where your guy is going and lay the ball out there for him. Okay, so EJ's going to retreat. But at this point right here, it's like I can't retreat anymore. I've got to throw the football because the pressure's got to me. Okay, now I want you to watch. Okay, so here's where the receiver's at. The receiver is kind of working to take this angle. And of course, you know, in practice, hey, this is where the landmark is. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to try to do in these types of situations. But in this situation, ball's out of EJ's hands right now. Okay? And so ball's out of his hands, and you see where the receiver's going at this point. And then as the ball leaves his hands, receiver, and not receiver's fault. I like what the receiver is doing right here. He's separating away from man-to-man coverage and flattening this off. But his angle before throw was going higher and was going in this spot, okay? And so now EJ's throwing the football and the ball goes to right where the angle was when he had to throw it. But these are things that happen, okay? Because the one thing that people are going to look at a lot with EJ, and they're going to look at the interception numbers with EJ, because he's got a lot of confidence in what he does and, and believes in things like this, okay? Hey, I see what's happening here. I see the angle. I bought my time. I'm going to lay this out here to where my receiver's going, and we're going to get a big play here against blitz zero, and we're going to make him pay for this. Oh, then the guy adjusts and flattens out and looks like a terrible decision. I get it. I understand why people would say that, but just explaining through some of these things. Sometimes things happen for quarterbacks, and it's why it's important to watch the tape and not just look at the stats on a page, right? So, goes against him. Everything about what he's trying to do is right. Not saying anything about the receiver. I love, as I said, what the receiver did. He's not wrong. It's just, hey, in this situation, you've got to be on the same page with some of these things. And if you're not, these kinds of things can happen. All right. Again, not a lot of huge throws down the field. So you're looking at, he was one of the best in the country at these second level throws, kind of the 10 to 20 yard range. So not the big throws down the field, but these kind of chunk second level type throws. Okay, we're going to run kind of a pogo, or what I call a pogo, a go on the outside or a post on the outside with the corner. We're going to come out. We're going to read the flat defender. Flat defender comes flying over here. It's really a man-to-man type situation here, but you get that guy to come out. Nice little slide in the pocket. And again, the one thing that I know about EJ, I think he's as accurate as anybody. He sets his feet. He's got great technique. And you're going to see the ball over and over again is just kind of right on the money. Doesn't overthrow it. A lot of people can look at that and say, okay, maybe he doesn't have the arm strength. Okay, you can say that. Or he understands what the velocity needs to be on a particular throw. It's all about trying to assess these quarterbacks, but a great timing, great throw. Nice chunk play once again, and giving his receiver the ability to catch, turn up the field, and get some extra yards. Okay. Stepping up, looking over to his right-hand side. So this is one of their favorite concepts. A lot of people are running it. So it's a hitch on the outside. It's an inside fade, and it's a stick. Okay, so he comes and he looks to this side, kind of see what they're doing. Okay, once these guys push, two guys here, he comes to work his backside, kind of under concept. reading that backside defender. Stepping up. Nice job. Seeing the movement of that outside linebacker. Stepping up, finding the throw, getting the first down. And so that is the funny thing, that I think EJ is a tremendous decision maker. You don't see him make a lot of bad decisions. Now, that doesn't always line up with the number of interceptions that he's thrown. But so much of it is, as I said, trust and belief in what he's seeing and what he's expecting from different guys. Doesn't mean he hasn't made any bad decisions. He's made some bad decisions like every quarterback has. I just don't think it's reflective of the number of interceptions that he's thrown. Okay, so put this one on here because, again, I like to break down everything. I think there were times that he got a little bit impatient on these deep throws. Okay, so you'd like to be able to get set. Let this guy go a little bit. Let him get out there, okay? Instead of, okay, he's, I don't know, right? He's not even 10 yards down the field here, and we're trying to get this ball out. And so when you're throwing deep throws, I feel like you always need to give your guy a chance. Now, this was an adjustment that I know they had. Hey, this guy comes. We're going to run a go route here against the safety that's coming down. I get all that. But buy yourself a little bit of time again and let your receiver run past the safety. You throw these things too early, it is hard to gauge. And you see, ball just a little bit too far outside. Would love to see a little bit more patience on some of these go routes that they threw. And just, hey, let your guy get out there. And so you can make a more accurate throw down the field. It's the art of every throw, right? Every throw has different nuances to it. To me, I like go throws. And the new thing is throw the go routes quicker than we've ever thrown them in the past. The back shoulders and getting the ball, flatter than it's ever been and trying to get it on our receiver. I'm a guy that likes to work the free safety. I like to let my receiver figure out how to win down the field so then I can lay the ball out and let them go get it instead of trying to be a perfect with a quick throw. All right? And so again, we talk about the patience piece of it. Okay, so they're going to run a route that I call pylon here. Okay, so it's a pylon corner here, this deep one, and then we've got a flat corner or an out underneath it, and then a flat. Okay, so much of these kind of concepts are about patience. I need to get a deep enough drop as a quarterback that I can read this corner. Okay, I got to force him to make a decision between the deep pylon corner and the flat corner. Okay, so as you come back, you see how quickly EJ sets right here. And I understand why. You're into the short side. You want to make sure that you get this corner out as quickly as you need to, but you never allow this to happen. Okay, so I'm not saying this is a bad decision. Obviously, the guy's open. Okay, not able to tap his foot. Ball maybe a little bit high to the outside there. And I'm not saying it's a bad decision because obviously easy complete this with the corner there. But you also see the corner coming off right here. And so if he holds it or gets a little bit deeper on his drop, maybe a shot to get the deep pylon throw for a touchdown right here. Okay, and so again, these are just things that you look and assess. I'm always trying to look at the quarterbacks and understand their sense of timing. Okay, within this offense, I know EJ was all about getting the ball out on time because we're not a big play team necessarily, so I want to be on time with things, but it's understanding the combination of different things. Good decision, not a terrible throw, maybe a little bit high, took his tight end to the point where he couldn't get that toe tapped there at the end. But you're trying to assess all the little details there. Again, not a problem with the decision. Throw isn't terrible, but little nuances that you're looking at and things that you say, okay, as these guys move to the next level, these are things they're going to have to get better at, okay? Always want to see guys with a messy pocket, okay? So we're going to run an all-seam combination right here. Boom, boom, or an all-go combination right here. Pocket's going to get a little bit messy. Ability to step up with bodies around you and make different kinds of throws, okay? Get a late rotation here. I like it. Free safety's there. We're going to try to rip this seam right here. Now, again, I like this throw. I want you to just, the receiver here kind of slows through this. I think he feels this guy coming over the top, so he's maybe going to settle in this little window. You see right there, he starts to stop. Otherwise, I think this is a great throw. And so again, you're trying to pick things from games that show different things. Okay, bodies around him. He's got to throw it up and over one. He's got to beat another guy with two. I think this is an incredible throw. If his receiver keeps on the move right, don't slow down. If he keeps on the move right there, I believe this is going to be a touchdown throw. And so again, these are the throws that I'm trying to find because EJ doesn't have a lot of those second level 20-yard air type throws. Okay, can you make this? Love this. Enough velocity to get it over one, but beat two. Guy in your face. Really, really like that right there. I believe, if his receiver keeps running, I believe this is a completion in this spot and maybe a touchdown. So again, I don't know for sure, but we've seen a couple already. Just a little bit of miscommunication that, if you're just kind of looking, incomplete, interception, and we can, throw this all on a quarterback. And that's why, to me, you got to break it down. You got to watch the tape, and you got to understand what you're seeing on each and every play if you're truly going to evaluate and assess these guys. All right? I'm going to see a lot of these at every level, the inside fade routes. Again, a big route that Fresno liked to throw. Nice job here. You're on the backside hash, so it's a long throw. You want to see these kinds of throws as well. Ball, perfect. Outside number, good trajectory, good distance. Ability to make these kinds of throws are things that you want to see. And as I say on all these tapes, we're checking boxes, right? That's what we're trying to do is we're evaluating these guys. Not every offense is going to be an NFL type offense. Not everybody's going to get to make the same NFL level of throws. Not everybody's going to have the same players around them that make the game easier or allow them to throw more balls down the field or protection to allow them. So everything's different. So you're trying to check boxes on, hey, do they have this throw? Can they do this? Can they see that? Are they accurate, consistent? All those things are things that you're trying to check boxes with all of these guys. All right, and as I said, this isn't a highlight tape. As much as people want to, hey, he's dad, he's biased. Okay, yep, probably some kind of bias always when we're talking about our kids. But I'm also trying to be honest with my assessment at all times. Okay, so in this particular situation, tough. They're going to run to a late rotation, kind of what we call, it's kind of like a inverted type 3 situation where safeties are running back to the corners and we got guys moving all over, but EJ looking off to this side here. And this is that same situation where we were expecting guys to stop on the outside, but I thought there was an opportunity to rip this right here, okay, to kind of see that rotation. Comes back, okay, you realize it's rotation. Here's a window, maybe a shot to be able to step in and rip this right here. Not able to make it, no check down to be able to get it to because the pressure comes from the corner on the outside. Now, I'm not sure if there was supposed to be some adjustment off of the corner blitz to the outside, but thought he had an opportunity to drive this throw. Would have liked to seen him drive that throw in that situation. But really nowhere else to go right there. So you want to see the ability to recognize and rip even into tight windows at times. Just knowing what you got and what your options are. Okay. Really good thrower on the run. Nice job right here. The ability to step up, get away from one, get on the move. Nice accurate throw to the outside. Get a completion. Make something positive out of nothing. Right? Checking another box. Right? The ability, show me you can throw the ball on the move. Throw it on the run. You can be accurate in those situations. Okay, it's another situation here, and again, these aren't easy looks, and it's one of the reasons why I picked this game. I thought Colorado State does a nice job of, you're coming here and you're not really sure what the look is going to be. It looks like they're going to play some kind of cover 3 coming down in this particular look. And then on the snap, they're going to run and they're going to be in a cloud situation to the front side. It is going to be a version of 3, but almost like a 3 double cloud. They're going to drop 8 guys, which is never easy. You got double seam right here. You got a couple different options on double seam. Free safety is on the back side, so you could look at the front side seam possibly and try to rip that. Or you could say, hey, he's moving to the middle of the field. I'm going to read this backside seam, and if this guy gets depth, I'm going to drop it underneath to my back right here. So he decides to go to the backside looking for this seam, right? Here's the one, maybe a shot. Not going to be easy with these looks here. But looking at the backside shot, doesn't have it. He works right down to the back right here. Get yourself a completion. Get it to him quick. I like it, right? And these are the things that you're trying to determine. I get an advantage with EJ because we talk through this stuff and I get to talk to him. Hey, why did you do this? What were you thinking? Hey, I wanted to read the backside because I knew my back was over here. So I knew I could high-low the backside linebacker. Great. He gets depth. Boom. Get it out. Get it to your check down. Nice little first down gain. Okay, always want to know how you handle pressure. Okay, we talked about the one earlier, tried to get the bail, had to make the throw down the field, turns into an interception and gets pressure. Here's another one, free hitter right here. Okay, what's your answer? Get the ball out of your hands. Boom, right there. Find your completion. Doesn't have to be impressive. Doesn't have to be a throw down the field. It's having an answer. Talk about it every week in the NFL, having a pressure plan. I thought EJ was as good as anybody at having a pressure plan and getting the ball out, right? You get it out quick, get it to your playmaker, allow them to make a play. Thought Ty Simpson was also really good in this manner. They built some things in and allowed him to be able to make some plays against pressure at Alabama. But that to me is something that you have to be able to do. You have to have that plan, going in when you're playing in the NFL. Thought EJ did a great job against pressure. And here's another one against pressure, but this to me, I'll give it to play design. Great play design right here. And that, sometimes, again, when I'm breaking these guys down, some things just jump out and I love it. Blitz zero, we already saw it one time. It created the interception that we saw earlier. Now they're going to come with blitz zero again here. Okay, so blitz zero, shouldn't say it's blitz zero. They do have a guy coming back here, but an all-out blitz coming. Okay, and so here they're expecting all these guys to engage. They do a great job with their back here of bluffing the guy and believing there's going to be nobody else back because they figured it was going to be an all-out blitz. Really well done. We just slip by him, buy some time, get the ball out to our back, let him go one-on-one with that safety that's just trying to bail over there. Really love that play design for any of you coaches out there that are watching it. It's a great thing against an all-out blitz. You can block them up sometimes and try to throw it down the field. Other times, nice little change up like this for an easy touchdown. Okay, we're going to have a hot situation again. Understanding our hot situation. Okay, we don't really have a whole lot going for us in this hot situation. Okay, we're starting over here. It's more of a pure progression type thing on this particular play. So again, part of the plan is, hey, I know I'm free here. So EJ does a good job of falling away from this. I'm going to fall away. I know my first reads are over here anyways, but I got to fall away from the extra guy and buy myself some time, just like he retreated against blitz zero. Okay? Maybe a quick throw right there, but you see his eyes got off of it quickly because this guy doesn't come out and he thinks he gets banged, so he comes off of it quickly. But a nice job buying time, and waiting for his guys to separate and then laying it up over the top for a play. All right, the little things, the little nuance of falling away from pressure, understanding where it's coming from, always recognizing what's going on becomes so vital. All right, here's another one. Okay, so again, I know the play call here, so we can talk through this. All right, so they're running a curl with their front side tight end, and then what I call a pepper post. So pepper is the back pylon, a post to the back pylon on the other side. So they're trying to grab this safety right here and get him to pull down and get the shot up over the top. Now, you'll see this at times when teams call these shot plays. If they're expecting to get something, you see sometimes where the quarterback overthinks it and goes, okay, I'm going to try to, spend a little bit more time with my look at the curl and see if I can just force this guy to cover it because I know we want this one over the top. I'm a believer that, hey, you come out and if the curl's open, you throw it. Okay, you can read that safety, but if the safety gets any depth at all, just throw the curl. And then we'll come back to this play and we'll run it again. But throw the curl. Don't try to force the deep one. Okay, so right here, again, they're not a team. They were down in this game. They don't get a lot of big plays. A big shot play was called. Okay, I'm going to spend a little bit more time trying to force the deep one. Don't do it. Just take it. Take the quick throw right now and live with it. Instead, he tries to force it, tries to get that guy, and tries to hang a little bit longer, in hopes that this guy grabs it, and in essence, leads to a sack right here. So let this be a word of warning to coaches and quarterbacks. When you draw up these great plays, I get it, and it's easy to go in somebody's helmet and say, hey, give it a chance. We want to try to get the big. I get that. Let the players play it out. Put it in and design it where it's, hey, it's all off of this guy. If you come out and you get set and that guy gets stepped, throw your curl. If that guy's jumping it when you're supposed to be throwing your curl, then throw the one over the top. Don't spend extra time trying to force it. Quarterbacks, don't do it, okay? I always say, if you come back and you hit this curl and the coach says, you should have waited, the safety was coming. Every coach should be able to live with this. If this is the play that they put in, they should live with, hey, if the curl's open and I hit the curl, we're okay. Even though we want the shot over the top, we're okay because you read it out, you could throw it, take it. EJ should have just taken the curl right here and it doesn't lead to a sack. Okay, here we are in a pressure situation again. Basically the same play that they had before that was the interception with the shallow coming here. Again, puts a quarterback in a tough spot. Now the quick pressure comes off the edge. It's coming fast. I've got no quick throw. Nobody's looking at the quarterback. I got no chance to get this ball out right here. What do? Last one led to an interception. All right, nice job being able to buy yourself some time here. Get away from it. Making a throw on the run. Now the throw comes up short. It's a 4th down situation. But it's a tough spot, but I like to see the ability to make a guy miss, make a quick throw on the run, try to salvage a play when there wasn't really much of an opportunity to do much. But you can see, all right, pressure, handling pressure, having a positive play against pressure. Talk about it every week. Coaches, build in quick answers for your quarterback so it doesn't have to be prolonged plays turn into interceptions or prolonged plays that we're trying to salvage it at the end of the day and it doesn't equal a 1st down for us. Have options for your quarterback. Quarterbacks, know those options. Be able to get the ball out of your hands. Okay? Always looking for these backside hash, outside the numbers type throw. It's more of a quicker throw right here, but nice ball, out on the money, good timing, good completion. So again, just trying to check boxes. All right, like this one here. Okay, so we've got that same idea here where we're running the Poco. We've seen this a couple times with the flat right here, and then they're gonna have a little double move back here. Okay, so idea to work your eyes, look what you got to the left, try to work this free safety back here. Good job with that, knowing he's going to come back to this double move and driving that second double move. Throw in between 3 defenders, ball on the money, another accurate throw, but a chance to see that chunk throw down the field. Okay, got the seams again. Again, tough, all right, because we got 3 deep guys, we got 5 underneath guys. And these things are hard. It's hard to throw against a drop 8 defense. Hard to throw against 5 underneath and 3 up over the top. You got to find the little seams. You got to be ready, you got to be on time, and you got to be accurate. Nice job here. Boom. knowing it's going to be tough, right? I mean, just as you're trying to throw these, like where are you going to throw these different routes? You got guys underneath here. You got safeties that are splitting here because this guy's not fully responsible for playing the deep third. He's kind of playing a half there. 2 linebackers right here. Good job stepping up, seeing it, understanding where the quick window might be. Boom, ball in between 2 defenders right on the body for a nice big play. And I think that's where EJ may not have the size or even, a cannon arm. Again, not a lot of guys in this class, but, the cannon arm that we talk about. But his ability to see, recognize, and get the ball out of his hands are as good as anybody in this class. All right, here we go. Pressure again. All right, pressure again. Now we're trying to figure it out. What's your throw? Okay, the only throw we've got is a backside shallow route right here. All right, but have a plan. Have an option. Know what you're thinking on this particular play. Nice job. Okay, talk about quarterback athleticism, the ability to be able to make accurate throws without your feet. Okay, where you got to lead with your body. Nice, up and over. Ball on the money, buying time away from his guy, setting his guy up for a chance to run after catch big play. Now we're not able to complete this right here, but I like the plan, the option, the ability to make an accurate throw falling away. Again, you'll see the timing of different things. Not the perfect play call when you're running kind of a slant swing here against this same sort of 3 deep, 5 under type coverage. So you got to get the ball out on time. You got to have a plan. Boom. Back, hit the back foot. Ball's out of his hands. Quick, accurate. Nice first down. All right. Kind of same sort of play. That's actually the exact same play. And you see as they get squeezed down here tighter, really nobody open, bodies everywhere. Okay, got to go make a play. Nice job here. You love to see the effort, trying to go high, up, over the top. But again, you just love to see effort, ability to make some plays, trying to make plays with your feet. Love that effort right there. Okay, they come back. Another interception right here. So again, it's little things that happen. Okay, so they're going to run. This is a play that I call flower. Okay, so it stands for a flat and a corner right here. Okay, so we're trying to get a high-low on the cornerback here, which is exactly what we do. Now, the teaching here is that we're hoping to get man-to-man. So this guy's going to come off slow and try to create a rub if we get man-to-man for this guy going to the flat. Okay, and then he's going to get into his corner route. Okay, great against man-to-man coverage, but I've always had a problem with this particular concept because if you don't get man and this guy comes off slow, he's never able to get his depth again that helps make this happen. So as a quarterback, you're seeing that I should have a high-low against that defender. Okay, that's what you're seeing. So EJ comes out, he sees this. The corner does what? He flattens his shoulders and hips to the line of scrimmage. Okay, so he's flattening here to take the flat. That means I should have this corner throw right here. But again, I want you to come off and I want you to watch the wide receiver coming off right here. Okay, see how he comes off slow? All right, and they teach that again to try to get a rub against man-to-man. But in doing that, if he's just running, he's going to be another 4 to 5 yards deeper on this play. So EJ can only read the corner. The corner gives him the read right there that says throw the corner route. And as he goes to throw the corner route, because we're not going to the back pylon and we don't have the depth and the ability to throw it over him, you try to fit it over him. You try to get it over the top. But corner does a nice job of flattening and then being able to cover both because we're only about 6 or 7 yards separating these two guys. Now, it could be easy for us to say, hey, just get to your shallow that's coming off. I understand that. But I also understand the quarterback position. And if technically I'm supposed to have a high-low over here against one defender, and I get that one defender to turn, I'm expecting a touchdown right here. Now, when you come off to throw it, knowing you've got to throw it quick, and all of a sudden, your guy's not where you expect him to be. It's a really tough thing to try to pull this back when you've already decided I'm going to put this corner route over the top, and now he's got to try to aim it. You can see he's trying to put it on the back shoulder to the back pylon, and it becomes an interception here. So again, you got to take all this into consideration, and you got to ask the question, was that a good decision? Bad decision? Okay, was it a good throw or a bad throw based off of how it played out? And there's a lot of different ways to look at it. And so that's the kind of fun stuff to me that you're trying to evaluate, you're trying to see, you're trying to understand, big picture wise when you're evaluating all of these guys. Again, I love these. Get back, see it, okay? Got high cover 2 right here. Boom. Tight ends coming off, driving another throw, and again, you see the ball on the money. That's the thing that you'll see when you watch EJ play is tremendous accuracy. You don't see him miss by much. Even when he misses, it doesn't miss by much. When he throws it, you're going to see the ball over and over again in a perfect position, easily caught, doesn't overthrow it, right? Puts it right where it needs to be, making it easy for these guys to catch and move. All right, so that's my breakdown of EJ Warner. As I said, there's a lot of things to like: his processing, his ability to get it out, the way he handles pressure. The questions remain, okay, with your size, the level that you played at, can you make and consistently make those big throws down the field that you have to make at the NFL level? That's going to be what he has to prove, just like all of these guys are going to have to prove something at the next level. But again, with EJ, as with all these guys, there's a lot of things to like.